Hey y'all, it's Diane with Shaw Craft One, my old barn door, and I am back today working in our trifold journal, and today we're going to make the little ephemera folders that go in the journal. So I'll go ahead and tell y'all, this is the third time I have tried to make this video. The first two times I made this video, I messed my folders up. So I have some folders to go in different journals because I didn't get my measurements right. So I'm hoping that I've got my ducks in a row now, because earlier I didn't even know where my ducks were. Okay, so I have picked three of the prints from the kit. So I've picked these three, and then I've printed on the back of them. I printed the pretty vintage ledger from the early 1900s on there. So what we're going to do is we are going to make our folders out of these. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make our tabs, okay? Because I want the folders to have tabs. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and be full-on transparent here. I made the folders already, okay? And I messed them up. And I made them out of just regular design paper because I was too lazy to go print some more of my prints. And so I got them, and they're super cute. I mean, they're really, really cute, aren't they? I love the way they turned out, and I put the little wheel-tail tabs on them, on each one of them. I had myself a good little time videoing a video for y'all. And then look what I did. Let's bring this over here. So the folders are supposed to go right here on this spine. Or you can put them on either spine. So I put them in here. And look, when you close them up, my wheel-tail tabs were sticking out. And so when you close the book all the way, it bends those tabs a little. I don't know if you can see them or not. I don't think the light's going to show you. Let me see if I turn them this way. If you can see. I don't think you can. But anyways, they just barely touch it. But I was just afraid that, you know, over time it would, see how it just kind of bends them up a little. And so I just felt like these weren't going to work in this Reader's Digest book. But I'm going to make another journal or two, or I don't know how many Christmas journals I'll make this year because I'm having fun with it. And listen, my room looks like Christmas threw up all over it, so I might as well play with it while I've got it out. So anyways, I didn't mean to make that a whole long story, but I did. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to know our measure. Oh, here's another one I messed up. You see what I did? Oh my goodness. Now, if this folded this way, it would be fine. No, not really. I don't know. I can do some work on this one and fix it. So I can use this in another journal and do just fine with it. Because I went ahead and I printed these two. Let me see. Oh goodness. Anyway. I had these two printed, and so I used this one, you know, as like a template. Well, it didn't work, so we're doing it again. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to start again, and I think I want them in this order in the book because I like that mix of patterns together. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our measurements correct for our paper size. And I want to make sure I'm not upside down on any of the papers. Okay, I think we're good. So what we're going to do is what we want to do is we want to fold our pocket, okay? And so I'm going to come down from the top, down 6.5 inches and fold, okay? So I'm going to fold to the inside because I want this to be the inside. So let me see if I can put this out here where y'all can see where I'm counting. Can y'all see that okay? I can come down one. That way you might be able to see better on the darker. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go to the halfway mark in this square. Okay. So I'm just going to, instead of pulling out my scoreboard, because it does look like Christmas is thrown up in here and I have no room for anything else, we're just going to use our ruler to do our fold. So I'm just holding my ruler at the 6.5 inch mark, and I'm just kind of folding up into my ruler. If you have one of these Tim Holtz rulers, you have a curve on one side and a flat on one side. If you use the curved part, it's easy to do a score line, okay? So we do that, and then we are going to burnish it with whatever you have on hand. You can do it with you can actually do it with your ruler if you don't have a scoring tool. Okay, now we need to cut or tear. I'm probably just going to tear our paper length, okay? So this needs to be, from this side to this side, it needs to be 10.5, because our goal is to go 5 1/4, once it's folded. Okay, so I'm just going to count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.5. Ooh, it looks like we're there. I think we're there. Okay, so then what we're going to do, I'm going to unfold my pocket. And let me just think how I'm doing this. Okay, so this side over here is where I want my tab. Now, if you don't have tools, I'm going to use my envelope punch. But if you don't have an envelope punch, it's okay. Grab yourself a file folder, and I have one here somewhere. And you can just trace the tab. Now, you'll probably want to make it smaller than this, but like you can trace this side a little bit and then pull it over and then just come back around this side. I'll show you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and use my envelope punch. And this is how I make a file folder with my envelope punch. I'm trying to make sure you can see. See this little metal piece right in here? If you center the edge of your paper up with that little metal piece, you're going to get what looks like the edge of a file folder. Let me just show you. Okay, so I'm just going to center that up and punch. Now you see that edge that it gives you? It looks like a file folder. Okay, so then I'm going to come down about 2 inches. And I'm going to measure it on my ruler because you really can't measure it good with this. So I'm going to come down about 2, maybe 2.5, just to make it not look stumpy. I don't want a stumpy tab. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of center that up with my little metal piece in there. And then I'm going to punch. Just like so. Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side. And then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to bring down my paper trimmer, because we need to trim all of this excess off down through here. I hope I'm not too close. Hopefully y'all can see okay. So I'm just going to put my paper into my trimmer. This is my cut line right here. Okay, so I'm just going to load, I'm going to line up the very bottom of this curve with my cut line. Just like so. And then I'm going to kind of line up my blade with that cut line too. With the bottom of this curve, because I don't want to cut off this part, but I do want to cut off this part. So just make sure that you line it up right and you go in the right direction. It's real easy when you're doing it. I'm probably explaining it to you a little harder than it has to be. Okay. So then that cuts that piece off. And you have that. So now it looks like a file folder. Okay. Then we're going to fold this like this, and we're not going to go all the way to the edge. We're going to leave just a little bit of a gap. Okay. Now, before I fold this, I want to make sure that I've measured correctly. So I'm just going to line this up right here. And I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're good. We don't need this tab to go any further past 5.5. Actually, it might be 5 1/4. Let me just double check myself and make sure. Yep. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and fold it all the way to the edge, because that should give us a little bit more room for our file tab. Okay, and then we're just going to burnish it. Get a good crease in there. Okay. And then I just want to kind of look again, because I've had so much problems with this. I just want to make sure I got my ducks in a row. And I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. So now I'm going to come over here, and I'm probably going to trim just a hair off of this edge, just so I can have a little bit of a gap. I want you to be able to see the file tab a little easier. So on the next cut, we'll adjust our measurements and make sure that we've got it right. So I'm saying that's probably a little more than 1/4 inch that I'm going to cut off of this side. So let's just do that real quick. I was going to try and use my ruler and just tear it, but this is a little bit thicker than I want to tear. Okay. So we're going to go right there and just cut that little piece off. Okay. So let's bring our book back over. I know I've checked and double checked, but y'all haven't. You just have to understand what I've been through. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trim off the edge of this pocket, because we don't want, actually, you know what? I'm fine leaving the edge of that pocket, because it's going to give us a little more space. So it'll just give us a little more room. Okay. The next step we want to take is I'm going to turn this over where you might can see easier on this side. All right. So I'm going to unfold my pocket, and you're just going to trim at an angle here and at an angle here to take off some of the bulk in the center of your pocket. And you're also going to trim at an angle here and an angle here. Just very little slivers, okay? So I'm just cutting a little sliver all the way up to the fold line of the pocket, which is right there. And then I'm going to come on this side of that fold line and trim just a little bit more. Okay. Then I'm going to go on this side, and literally we're just taking off a sliver. And the same thing on this side. Just take off a little tiny sliver, and it just takes away some of the bulk for when you fold it. It takes away some of the bulk of the pockets. So then you have that, okay? So when you fold it, nothing's kind of hanging up on each other. And it's not real thick right here, because you've cut away that excess right there in the middle, okay? Now, if you want the real pretty edge over here, you just take your envelope punch, and we're going to go, I'm trying to decide which way to go with it. I think I'm going to go this way with it. So turn your file folder over, recenter in the middle of your envelope punch the little silver thing in there, and punch. And then that gives you that real pretty edge. Hopefully it'll focus and y'all can see that okay. All right, so that's one folder. Now, the last thing we're going to do to this folder is we're going to glue the side, but I'm only going to glue on one side. I'm going to leave this side open, and that way it gives us a little wiggle room in our pockets, because I want to kind of fill these pockets pretty full. So I want them to be able to have room to kind of bulge a little. Okay, so we're going to glue that one up there. Oops. Okay, so we'll just give it just a second to dry. Okay, so that's one folder complete. So there's one of our folders. Okay, now to make the center tab, because I want to have a tab here, and a tab here. You know, 3 lined up tabs. So I made myself a little template because I messed up so much earlier. So we're going to take our middle piece, which is going to be this piece. And I made, this was one of my test prints. This was actually a sheet that did not make it into the kit. So I used it as a template. And I made our little tab there. So we're just going to line this up with this. I'm going to line it up with the top, okay? Because if you put these together, you see how that's going to lay? I don't know if y'all can see real good or not. Anyways. There we go. It'll lay kind of like that. Okay. So I'm just going to use this as a template on this page here to line up my envelope punch board where I want it. It's really not complicated. It just sounds that way right now because I think more so because I've had so much problems with it. Okay, so we're going to punch right there. I'm going to bring my template back in. I'm going to line it up with the top of this page, and we're just going to slide down to the edge of this. Okay. I think I need to go down just a little bit further. And it does not have to be perfect. Seriously, don't even worry about trying to make it perfect because it doesn't have to be perfect. And you know what I just did? I punched it on the wrong side again. Darn it all. But we were going to need to cut some off of this end anyway. So we're just going to cut this off and start over. And the reason I'm saying that is because if I have the tab on this side, I'm going to have to fold it like this, and this would be the outside, and this would be the inside. I want this to be the outside. So we need our tab on this end. So that's where I messed up. Hey, just keeping it real. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to trim the bottom just a little bit. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's bugging me. There's just a little bitty white spot right there. That's just... I just don't like it. I printed borderless. I got a new printer. That was a whole fiasco. But I did get one. And got it working. And so now I can print borderless. So I'm still learning. Oh gosh, that didn't cut right. Okay, trimmed it off with my scissors. Anyways, I'm still learning how to do all the things on the printer. So, okay, so I'm just going to run this right up to that bottom edge, and I'm going to just cut that off straight so that we can start over. Hey, hey. Okay. My ducks are still running around, y'all. I'm still trying to get them together. Get them in a row. All right. So we need to put our template on this end. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up over here on the edge. Okay, and we're going to line it up right here. Punch our hole. Okay, then we're going to come right here and line it up in there and punch our hole. Okay, that's much better. All right, and then we got to bring our trimmer back down. And here's what we're going to do with this. You're going to line this and this up with your cut line, and you're just going to cut those ends off. Okay. So I'm going to come right down to there. Make sure I didn't cut. Oh, I did cut that, but that's okay. We'll put something cute on it to fix it. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm just having so much problems with this today. It has been my nemesis today. Okay, I'm going to cut the rest of this. Just like that. Okay. So now, see what I did? I just cut it just a little bit. We'll put some cute washi there or something. And I think I need to trim that just a little hair. I just wanted that to look a little more straight. Okay. So we've got that, and then we're going to take our punch board and we're going to do the edges. So when you do this, it's going to be a little bit fidgety. So you just kind of want to pull this tab up where you can line this up flat with your envelope punch. This is really not hard, y'all. It just sounds a lot harder because I don't have my ducks in a row today. I'm so sorry. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. So then when we fold it, but we got to get our height first. Oh, I didn't fold. But that's okay, because that's still exactly where it's got to go to. But I didn't fold my pocket. I'm telling y'all, I'm just so glad y'all love me, because today I am not doing so good with videos. Okay. Trying to get to where y'all can see what I'm doing. Maybe I need to go up a line. So we're going to come down 6.5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go in the center. At the half line of this mark. And we're going to fold up our pocket. I hope y'all love me, because I am just flubbing the dub on this today. I feel the love. I can feel it coming through the camera. All right, so you actually don't have to punch that end. You want to punch this end. So let's do that real quick. Such a dork. Okay. So again, I'm just lining up the edge with the center and punching, and it just gives that pretty file folder look, like the little cut. Okay, now I'm bringing in this folder here because I want to make sure I fold it in the right spot. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to use that as a template, and then I'm going to make sure that I have a little bit of a gap right there. Can y'all see? Let's scoot this over. So I've got a little bit of a gap, and then I'm going to fold. Okay. And then I'm going to unfold, and I'm going to cut my excess out. Cut the excess out of this one. Oh, and off of this side. So we're actually not even going to need, I'm trying to make it to where this is not going to look funky. Hey, if we mess up, we just fix it, right? There we go. So this is pocket or file folder number 2. So I'm going to glue these pockets down, get the other one ready, and I'll come right back. Okay, so I've got my last folder ready to be punched, and what I've done is I've lined up my 2 folders together so that I know where I want my last tab to come through, and I kind of want it to be right here in the center. So I'm just going to line these up with this and get it on my punch board where I need it to be. And then I'm going to move my 2 folders. And I'm going to punch. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this one, because it's kind of the bottom punch, or the bottom tab. And I'm going to come right here. And it's okay if it overlaps a little. So I'm just going to use my ruler and do like another 2-inch tab here. I think that's how I want to do it. Not 2. It's 2.5, I think. So it's right here on the edge. So before we punch this on the last one, we need to unfold our pocket, or otherwise we're going to punch our pocket too. Okay. So I'm just taking this to the kind of the middle center of this punched mark, and I'm going to bring it down to about the 2.5 inch mark. So we're going to go about right there. You can just eyeball it because that's what I do. And that's okay. It does not have to be perfect. All right. So I'm going to bring this back over. We're going to line it up with our cut mark. And I want it to go in just a little bit more, and then I'm going to take it all the way up to the bottom of that punch mark. Oops, I didn't get all the way to the top, but I'd rather do that than cut it. And I'll show y'all what I did to fix the other one that I cut. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. And I think it'll be easier if we turn it over and do it this way. I think I'll be able to see it easier, and then I won't cut my tab like I did the last time. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So we're just going to trim the rest of that little piece off right there, and we got it. Okay, well, this video has gone a lot longer than I wanted it to. So sorry. Don't forget to punch your edges. So we're going to punch this edge. Let me move that ruler. Okay, and then we're going to punch this edge. And then off camera, I'll trim up my pockets and all that good stuff, and we'll come back. And in the next video, we will put in our file folders into the journal, and we'll put our signatures into the journal. So I hope this wasn't too wonky of a video for y'all today. Thank you for loving me through it and being patient with me while I figured it out. So I hope y'all have a good day. Please like and subscribe, and leave any comments or questions that you have in the comment box below. Y'all have a great day. Big hugs.